Hello friends! How'd you like that new intro? So some of you may be thinking upon seeing the title of this video, I thought this was supposed to be a cosplay channel. Well, it is, technically, but I have a very vast array of interests, so occasionally I'm going to subject you all to them. So today I'm going to be doing the D&D Tag, which was started by Ginny D, who is awesome, and I will link her channel in the description. And basically it's a set of questions that get to know you as a D&D player or DM, and I'll be answering these questions for you all today. Alright, so question number 1 is, what was your first D&D character? I am actually currently playing my first D&D character, though not the first iteration of him. His name is Ronin. He is a half-elf Eldritch Knight fighter. I first started playing him in January of 2019, I want to say. My friend invited me to a Pathfinder group that she'd been playing in for a while, and I created Ronin for that. And I only actually got to play in like a few sessions before my schedule got weird, and then there was drama and my friend left, and since she was my ride and I didn't want to also abandon her, I left as well and did not have a game for several months. But then the same friend invited me to a different group that she had just joined that was just starting, and I was like, hey, I didn't get to play this character and he was pretty cool. So I transferred him into 5e, fleshed him out a little bit more, and I've been playing him ever since, and he's amazing and I love him. Alright, question number 2. This question is, which D&D class is your least favorite to play or do you not want to play? This one has actually sort of changed a little because there was a point where I had absolutely no interest in playing a paladin whatsoever. I still am like, I don't know if I'd play just like straight paladin, but as multi-class. So probably at this point, class that I would not want to play would be Artificer because it's just way too complicated. Question number 3, what D&D spell would you most want to have in real life? Okay, I gave this one a lot of thought. There was like obvious ones. I was like, oh, disguise self, I'm a cosplayer, that'd be so helpful. Or like, prestidigitation would be so useful. But then I was like, no, teleport. Not teleportation circle, because then you have to have like specific circles in certain places, but teleport. Like, I don't drive, so getting places is awful. And it would also make like vacations so much easier. It's like, if I wanted to visit a friend out of state, I could just be like, hey, yo, text me a picture of your front yard and tell me when is a good time to show up. It would be awesome. Question number 4. What's your favorite D&D monster? Okay, this one's difficult because here's the thing. I have not actually played for that long. I've only been playing for like a year and a half consistently. And my highest level that I've played at is level 7. And so I haven't had that wide of a arrangement of monsters to play against. So I don't entirely know. Dragons are cool. Oh, you know what? Okay, I don't know if it's like a legit thing because I don't know what it was called, but in one of my games that I'm in, we fought this beekeeper deal. I don't know, there was bees everywhere and there was a giant infernal bee. That's actual name is escaping me. Strapped down. And then in this room off of the basement room where this was happening, there was this horrific nightmare beekeeper guy. He didn't have a real face. He had a beehive for a face in his beekeeper suit. And it was terrifying and so cool. And I don't know if it's like a legit like thing or if it was homebrew, but I loved it. So that's my favorite D&D monster, was the Nightmare Beekeeper. Alright, question number 5. What's your favorite NPC or villain that you've encountered or created? Okay, so I've only DM'd 2 games for my family, so I haven't really created very many NPCs. The ones I've created are cool, but I haven't really gotten to explore them much. So we're gonna go with ones I've encountered, and that would be in my Friday game that is now moving to Sundays. We met I'm assuming warlock. She is an orc who owns an apothecary, and her familiar, is an imp that is disguised as a goblin, and they are the best duo. They are so cool and hilarious, and the goblin imp has tried to kill our monk multiple times. I love it. They're amazing. Question number 6. Has one of your characters ever died, and what killed them? So like I said, I have not been playing for all that long, only like a year and a half, but none of my characters have ever died. I have had some close calls because Ronin is a dumbass, but no one's ever died. Knock on wood, because in the game with Ronin, we're about to enter some combat against some bad people. Don't know how bad that's gonna go. We're surrounded and in a narrow hallway in a haunted house. So hopefully Ronin does not die. But so far, everyone lives. Question number 7. What's your best natural 20 story? Okay, so here's the thing. I do not have a great memory. And we haven't really had in any of my games any particularly spectacular Nat 20 stories. So what I'm gonna go with is, in my Thursday game, I play a tiefling monk. We were in battle one time, and I was just rolling for crap, like, could not hit at all. And then suddenly, I rolled 3 Nat 20s in a row, and it was spectacular. And that is my Nat 20 story, because I don't have anything better. Okay, question number 8. What's your best natural 1 story? Okay, again, I do not have a great memory, but I knew I had written something down about some Nat 1 stories that happened, so I looked in my notes. So there was one that I could not find notes on that I would just remember, and I don't remember what the context was. But Ronin has a wisdom modifier of -1. And one time I was rolling, I'm assuming a check because nothing horrible happened, and rolled a 1, making it a total of 0. And I just immediately was just like, head, meet, desk. It was just ridiculous. But the other one that I had completely forgotten about, so Ronin has a unfortunate relationship with doors, apparently. We were trying to get into the haunted house that I mentioned earlier, and we were having issues with the door because there's a giant tree in the entryway. And so I was trying to run at the door to break it down, and rolled a natural 1. And jacked up my shoulder and got disadvantage for an hour on doing things with 2 hands. So, doors 2, Ronin 0. Question number 9 is, what's the highest level you've ever played a character to? Okay, so this one is a little weird because when I first played Ronin in the Pathfinder game that I first started in, they'd been playing for a long time, so they were at level 8 and just started me at level 8, which is a bad idea because I didn't know what I was doing, and starting at level 8, my god. So technically I have played at level 8, but I don't entirely count it because I really had no idea what I was doing. So in my current playing streak, I'm at level 7 as Ronin. So level 7 is really the highest I have played at with any sort of confidence. Question number 10. What's your favorite magical item? Okay, I'm gonna make this a 2-part question because I have a favorite actual, like, canon item and a favorite homebrew item. So my favorite item from, like, a handbook is a little dumb. It's the Cloak of Billowing. It's the most pointless item. All it does is make you look cool. But I love me a good billowing cloak, so Cloak of Billowing. My favorite homebrew item, though, that I have ever gotten is, in my Thursday game, we fought a very large fish that had very large teeth, and I took one of the teeth when we killed it, and took it to a smithy, who then made it into a +1 dagger that also does acid damage, and it is so cool. And like, we took out a manticore in like 2 rounds because I had that thing. I love that dagger so much. Question number 11. If you had an IRL alignment, what would it be? Okay, so I would want to say true neutral, but I'm also too much of a goody two-shoes. So I think probably neutral good, but like I also sort of like ping pong around the square in the grid like a screensaver icon, you know? And it's like occasionally I ping over to a more lawful side where I get particularly anxious if naughty things are happening. Sometimes I go into a little chaotic side. Normally that's while I'm playing D&D and can't control myself. And then sometimes I like ping over more towards true neutral, but still in the like neutral good thing, whereas it's like, okay. Question number 12. If you had to date one of your characters, which one would you pick? Definitely my tiefling monk Percy, because she is hot. She is very hot. I didn't entirely intend for her to be hot. I mean, like, I always imagined she'd be a decent looking gal. But then I commissioned some art, and the artist drew her so hot that now I'm just like, okay, yep, she could get it. I mean, like, personality-wise, I probably wouldn't want to date her because she is morally questionable and has no problems with killing and stealing. But she's pretty. Question number 13. Is there a character you want to play but haven't had a chance to play yet? Oh, yes. So much yes. When I am bored, just sometimes go on D&D Beyond into the character builder and just make characters that I will probably never play. But like in particular, I've got two that are like more fleshed out than the others that I like really want to play at some point. One of them is a tiefling rogue. Can you tell I have a thing for tieflings? He is super cool. He's got the charlatan background, so he's just sort of like, you know, he's a tricksy boy, and I cannot wait to play him. The other one is a drow warlock, and saying both of these back to back just now makes me realize I am the edgy player, aren't I? I create the edgy characters. And like, you guys don't even know the backstories for either of these, but both of them are edgy. What is wrong with me? Question number 14. Are you a dice goblin or a dice minimalist? Goblin. 100% goblin. So much goblin. I am starting to move past goblin into dragon. Like, not quite. Because I've only been at this for a year and a half, so I still have like, it's not as bad as it could be. That's what I have to tell my mom. It's not as bad as it could be. But I need one of those like massive bags that has all the pockets because I currently have like a ton of separate bags trying to fit them all. It's ridiculous. I need help. And now for the 15th and final question. What rule or mechanic have you never quite wrapped your brain around? Okay, so sneak attack has confused me for a very long time. Like, I want to play rogue. My next character, when Ronin is no longer a thing, hopefully that's not too soon, is a rogue. But I don't understand sneak attack. I'm starting to understand it a little bit more because in my Saturday game we have a rogue who uses sneak attack a lot. But I do not understand sneak attack. Even more than that, though, is just artificers in general, just as a class. I do understand how they work. I, one day while bored, was like, okay, artificers, let's see if I can actually figure out how this works. They seem cool. Like, magical mechanics, like what? So I like went in there and created one. I was like, okay, level 1, that seems okay, it's not as bad as I thought. And I was like, okay, let's just experiment here. So I bumped it up to level 3, where you would get subclass. And immediately, I was just like, what is this? How do you do this? I do not understand. Will I ever understand? Who knows? Probably not, because I am probably going to be too much of a coward to ever actually make an artificer. And if I want to be a blasty boy, I will just play a gunslinger, because artificers hurt my brain. Oh wait, I thought of another one, and that is the Battlemaster subclass for fighters. There was a reason why Ronin is an Eldritch Knight, and it's not just because I wanted spells, but because Battlemaster makes no damn sense to me. I do not understand any of it. And I never will. Well, there you have it. There are my answers to the D&D tag questions. If you want to do the tag yourself, I have linked Ginny D's channel in the description, and she has the Google Doc in her own D&D tag video that you can get to all the questions and answer them yourself. Or if you don't have a YouTube channel and just want to talk about your own D&D characters and stuff, then leave a comment and we can talk about it, because I could talk about D&D for hours. And also I love hearing about other people's characters and adventures, so tell me about your fun things. I also recently did a photo shoot with a costume for Ronin and have been starting to post pictures, so you can find my other social media down in the description where I've been posting those things. And as usual, my videos come out every other Wednesday, so thank you for watching and see you next time.